Katatonia. There's a band that has had a pretty interesting history considering what they started off as a band in the early part of the 1990s to what they've become now here in 2013. They started off very different than what they sound like now. Almost like a black/death metal hybrid that had a very epic feel to it, song lengths that numbered over the 10-minute mark with some of their earliest affairs, only to have their lead singer lose his ability to do death metal vocals, have Michael Ackerfee from Opeth actually take over for a couple of albums. That way the style could sort of continue, and then help him out once he decided, their singer decided to transition more so as a clean singer. Now, he and Mike are both very close friends, so of course this was not a far cry for, something to occur. But now we get to Dethroned and Uncrowned here in 2013, and man, it's a different sounding band. And we all know that. We've known that actually for a while, so this is nothing new, but this is actually something where they're kind of trying to reinvent the wheel a little bit once again. This is actually not really all that much of a new album. In fact, it's just Dead End Kings reworked acoustically. Actually, I would call it more of an acoustic/piano affair, the soft version if you want, the Anathema version if you like, Anathema edition of this album that they've decided to, they've reworked each and every song off of the released Dead End Kings and have decided to release what has occurred whenever they did this. And quite frankly, wow, this might seem like heresy, but I kind of like this better. I think this actually supersedes the original album in many different ways, and we're going to talk about that starting here in just a moment. Now, a lot of you probably know that I covered Dead End Kings. I covered that whenever it was released, and I definitely had high things to say. And of course, whenever Dead Letters, the single came out, I covered that as well. And I will try to remember to leave some links in the comments below or in the description box below for you guys to check that out and kind of remember what I said. But I'm fairly certain that what I'm going to say now is going to seem a little bit different because there's been some time that's been allowed to pass. Now with this album, what really makes this principally different is the fact that with this acoustic/piano mix, as I like to call it, as opposed to just flat-out acoustic, there's definitely a different atmosphere, there's a different feel to it. We all know Katatonia as a band that is able to really evoke a very somber tone, that's able to really be a band that's very much about depression, very much about self-loathing, only not the self-loathing in the way in which you and I as metal fans may be used to hearing it. We may be used to hearing self-loathing in the form of extreme anger or extreme depression, such as suicidal doom metal or something like that. Either that or angry death metal that's basically just taking out all the internal frustration out on the world and being as brutal as fucking possible. No, instead, this is the self-loathing that is really very introspective, that actually prohibits that kind of anger and instead turns it all on oneself and turns it all as a sort of cinematic scope on decisions, either that or periods of life, almost as though you're peering through some of the dankest memories of somebody's existence through the eyes and the ears of song. It's a very interesting idea that Katatonia has been able to adopt. They've been able to implement a certain element of small-grade storytelling within their songs, almost integrating, lyrics that almost feel like conversation in some ways, poetic, lyrical conversation. It's very cool. It's one of the things I've always really enjoyed about this band. Now, on this album, we've already seen, or should I say with the original album, Dead End Kings, we already saw them really evolve into just full out into this whole prog metal/prog rock idea, and this is an album that really just enhances that prog rock aspect to it, almost to the point of prog pop, if you want to call it that, but I really don't want to call it that, because those two are kind of like opposites. It's kind of an oxymoron. However, this is the reason why I call it the Anathema edition, because it definitely has a feel of a record of theirs. It definitely feels a lot like their softer material. They're very, melodic and harmonious materials. This stuff is very, very beautiful. These workings of these tracks are extremely beautiful, and that's another reason why I feel as though this version of the album actually supersedes the original version of the affair, principally because I feel as though the emotion, the feeling, and the overall tone is delivered a lot better in this style. I feel as though the songs that were written with a certain electricity in mind. However, at the same time, whenever it's transferred into this acoustic style, whenever it's reworked this way, man, oh man, oh man, it just seems so much more effective. It seems so much more unique. It has that feel of depression, that feel of darkness. It really just has more of that gloomy, foggy feel that you expect from Katatonia. It actually suits it a whole heck of a lot more. It gives me that feel of somebody walking through an early fog-laden morning into a town. They are perhaps a grifter. There's somebody who has not had a home in quite some time. Either that, or they thought that they had the future, completely planned out, only to have it be taken away from them by one simple decision or in one simple moment. And these acoustic ballads almost feel as though it represents this perfectly. The vocals are beautiful. The way in which the music is able to backdrop the vocals just adds a new dynamic. I mean, this is just something where I almost feel as though I should beg Katatonia to really do more albums in this variety, similar to whenever Unfurl as a B-side came out, and I kind of quested to have, I longed for Katatonia to make more albums sort of in that style, and subsequently it sort of happened, and I was very pleased, and I loved the band even more. If they did an album such as Dethroned and Uncrowned in completion of new material, I have a feeling that I would have those same feelings, simply because they seem very, very capable of writing poignant material with this style. I feel that this is a good stylistic direction shift. I feel that it's only logical. It's really the last step, I think, for them to really become a full-out band that is able to really explore the depths of human emotion, the likes of which have been teased by other bands and have been accomplished by other bands. However, Katatonia adds a certain element of despair and darkness that really just seems unparalleled. And I really think that that would be a nice enhancement to a genre that is slowly but surely picking up some steam by itself, with bands such as Anathema, as I mentioned previously, and The Gathering, to name another one. Man, I really like this affair. I really like this album a lot. I'm not going to give this a score. It's really not going to affect the top 25 list, because this is, in reality, more so just a remix album, though it's more of just an acoustic reworking. However, I just feel like this is one that really will stand out as a bit of a hidden surprise for fans that decide to undertake it, because I have a feeling also, sadly, that a lot of fans are going to perhaps pass this by once they learn the story behind it, considering there's already been a bit of a conflict amid older school fans and the newer school pertaining the change in vocal style, the change in overall style, and just the overall change in feel that Katatonia has experienced throughout the past decade or so. So I think that those fans that have expressed concern about this turn of style will probably stay away, but a lot of the fans that have already been used to this turn of style will probably be more prone to check this out, and they are going to be greatly rewarded for doing so. So definitely do so.